Part 47. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 461. Chapter 461 Why do you hate people? Fourth, Yan Shaoqing said a few words, but saw no response from the person next to him. When he raised his head, he saw Gong Zili was startled. I don't know what he is thinking, he seems to be in a trance. Yan Shaoqing wordlessly stretched out his hand and waved it in front of his eyes. Fourth brother, you have come to your senses. What are you thinking about? Gong Zili finally came back to his senses. His eyes were still a little vacant, with a bit of daze and confusion in them, and then he turned his head and glanced at Shenro. From the memory of the year when he was 10 years old, he could not remember many things clearly. But only that sweet fragrance was deeply embedded in his sense of smell, and he still remembered it after so many years. He could no longer remember what perfume Shenro wore that night. But after so many years, Shenro never used that perfume again. He also asked her about it, and she said lightly that she didn't like the fragrance now, and that the perfume had been discontinued. However, that day he smelled the same perfume on Jiao Mian. If production was discontinued, how could Jiao Mian still have that perfume? He has many questions in his mind. Perhaps, he should ask Jiao Mian for clarification. I don't know if it was because Jiao Mian gave him a different sense of familiarity, but he found that he no longer seemed to hate her as much as before. But he still doesn't like her. Nothing. Gong Zili took his eyes away from Shenro, stood up and said, I'll go to the bathroom and you two can chat. After saying that, he turned around and walked out of the box. Yan Shaoqing watched him walk out of the box, thought for a while, stood up, and said to Shenro with a smile, Rura, I'm anxious too and have to go to the bathroom. You can order whatever you want to eat and drink. Today it's your second brother's treat tonight. By the way, there are a few new young masters here, all with good looks. Do you want my second brother to order some for you? His words received Shenro's glare and a pillow thrown at him. Yan Shaoqing, you want to die? Yan Shaoqing touched his nose and said innocently, okay, if you don't want it, forget it. Asterisk. Out of the box. Miyazawa did not go to the bathroom, but leaned against the wall in the corridor, put his hands in his trouser pockets, and looked up at the incandescent light above his head with half-squinted eyes. The light was so dazzling that he had to close his eyes. After a while, he slowly opened them again. The door of the box was pushed open again. Yan Shaoqing came out and saw him standing outside the door. He was stunned for a moment, and then closed the door with his lips curled up. Why, don't you want to go to the bathroom? Gong Zili glanced at him and said in a calm voice, it's too stuffy in there, come out and get some air. Me too. Yan Shaoqing also put one hand into the pocket of his suit pants and stood side by side with him. After a moment of silence, he said, what did Rura tell you? Gong Zili pursed his lower lip, it's nothing. Is it something related to the second brother? He didn't say it, but Yan Shaoqing could guess it himself. What on earth is she thinking and why she still refuses to let go? The second brother is already married, and you have seen with your own eyes how serious he is. If you care about my sister-in-law, fourth child, if you continue like this, we will really become strangers from now on. Yan Shaoqing usually has a playful and smiling face and does not look serious, but at this moment, the expression on his face is extremely serious. I can understand Rura not liking my sister-in-law. But what about you, what is your reason? Sister-in-law, I haven't offended you before, right? Why do you hate people so much? End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 462. Chapter 462 You don't need to change your preferences because of her. Gong Zili's expression changed, and his thin lips pursed tighter. The light above his head shone on his handsome face with a hint of coquettishness and evil, making his eyes even more gloomy and somewhat penetrating. Had he not been born with a good body and handsome enough, his eyes and expression at this moment would definitely scare people to tears. Is it because of Rura? He refused to say it, so Yan Shaoqing said it for him. You know Rura likes the second brother. Because the second brother married his sister-in-law, Rura felt very sad, so you hated the sister-in-law. Gong Zili pursed his lips, and the hand at his side clenched tighter and tighter. Yan Shaoqing looked at the expression on his face, shook his head, and advised in a very disapproving tone, "Fourth, you are not kind. My sister-in-law has done nothing wrong, just because she married the second brother, do you think it's fair to be treated like this? The person who wants to marry her is the second brother, and the second brother is also willing. Even if you feel sorry for Rura, you still have to be reasonable. Is it because Rura likes the second brother, so the second brother can't like other women? You and I both know very well that the second brother has never had any feelings for Rura in any way. Even if the person who marries him is not his sister-in-law, he will never be Rura." Gong Zili pursed his lips and said nothing, but there was a trace of wavering in his eyes. He didn't understand what Yan Shaoqing said. It's just that Shenro is too important and special to him. He couldn't see her sad. If anyone makes her sad, that person is Gong Zili's enemy. Fourth brother, tell me the truth, if it weren't for Rura, would you hate my sister-in-law? Yan Shaoqing feels that this matter must be resolved properly. Otherwise, it will really affect their brotherhood for so many years. Both Mo Yesi and Gong Zili are his good brothers. He doesn't want to lose any of them. I don't want this to affect the relationship between the four of them. No matter how much Shenro disliked Jiao Mian, Mo Yesi couldn't possibly separate from Jiao Mian because of her. And according to Mo Yesi's character, if they couldn't accept Jiao Mian, that guy would definitely protect his wife and break up with them brothers for the sake of his wife. He knows Mo Yesi very well. Fourth, please speak. Yan Shaoqing spoke for a long time, but the person in front of him didn't respond at all. He couldn't help but become a little impatient, and his tone was not so good. Don't think about other things, just answer my question directly. Gong Zili was very upset. He felt that Yan Shaoqing was like a sparrow, chattering in his ears. Originally, he was already annoyed enough. He didn't want to answer his boring questions at all. Does he hate Jiao Mian? He didn't think about it seriously. If it weren't for Shenro, he would probably have no feelings for this woman. It's neither disgusting nor liking it. It's not his woman anyway. What she looks like, what her family background is, and what her personality is, it has nothing to do with him. So, it shouldn't be annoying. Okay, even if you don't tell me, I already know your answer. Yan Shaoqing reached out and patted his shoulder clearly, and said sincerely, if you don't hate it, why do you have to do it like this? You are you, Shenro is Shenro, there is no need for you to change your preferences because of her. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 463. Chapter 463, I was shocked when I heard your singing. Besides, Yan Shaoqing glanced at him with a speechless expression and said, Fourth brother, I really can't understand your brain. Have you ever sent the woman you like to another man's bed? Hobbies. Gong Zili's face darkened instantly. Yan Shaoqing. Isn't it? Yan Shaoqing raised his eyebrows. ACI's marriage is originally a good thing for you. At least if he gets married, Rura can give up on him. Maybe when you look back, you will find that you are still such an infatuated person. Guardian, once moved, he might be with you. So, you have to thank my sister-in-law. But what have you done? You are so dissatisfied that your second brother married your sister-in-law. Do you still hope that your second brother will be with Rura after they divorce? Mongzili's face became increasingly ugly. Of course he doesn't want to. He just couldn't see Shenro being sad. Think about it for yourself. I don't think my second brother has done anything wrong. If it were me, I would do the same thing. The woman I hold in my hand cannot tolerate being looked down upon by anyone, even if you really don't like my sister-in-law. For the sake of my second brother, you shouldn't show it either. What would you think if Rura was treated like this? Gongzili was silent again, pursed his lips and stopped talking. Yan Shaoqing was about to leave and let him think about it alone, when he suddenly heard a very beautiful singing voice coming from a certain box. It is a very sweet, very ethereal sound. It is no exaggeration to say that it is an oriole out of the valley. Yan Shaoqing's eyes widened when he heard this. The singing seemed to be coming from a box opposite. In the midst of the noise, it was like a stream of clear water pouring into my heart, which instantly soothed my impatience. Yan Shaoqing has never heard such a pleasant sound. This voice is simply too satisfying for him. Sweet but not greasy, and a little soft, like a kitten's claws scratching his heart, tickling him. Holy shit! Fourth child, did you hear it? This is some fairy singing, and the voice is so nice. Yan Shaoqing really had no resistance to this sweet and soft voice. Just like he has no resistance to the sweet-looking and well-behaved Lolita. The moment that sweet and clear singing voice sounded, Miyazawa Lion noticed it immediately. The sound is really nice and very recognizable. But unlike Yan Shaoqing, he is not a voice control. So even if I think the sound sounds nice, I don't have much reaction. He was thinking about other things in his mind and had no intention of paying attention to Yan Shaoqing, so he gave a perfunctory hum. Yan Shaoqing was extremely excited. No, I have to get to know this little fairy. This voice is too good for me. If she is as sweet as the voice, I will go after her right away. Gongzili was unhappy, and naturally he didn't want Yan Shaoqing to feel comfortable. He said sullenly to the side, the voice is nice, but both men and women are ugly. Go look for it, and soon you will see a female man who picks his feet. Yan Shaoqing, I won't listen. If I say it's a little fairy, it must be a little fairy. I trust my intuition. Heh, how about we make a bet? Bet, what to bet on? If I am as ugly as I said, you will lose a car to me. Give me the supercar you just bought recently. If I am very beautiful, I will lose and I will give you a car. Thank you all for subscribing. There will be another 10,000 word update in the morning. Mo Yesi, Yanziasan, I'm afraid you don't want to die, so you dare to pry into my corner. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 464. Chapter 464, I'm sorry to have to spend money on you again. Yan Shaoqing suddenly became interested. Seriously? Gongzili snorted coldly, it's just a car, who are you kidding? Okay, Yan Shaoqing agreed immediately, his eyes flashing with excitement, and he said confidently, you will definitely lose. Fourth brother, I will just say thank you to you first, and I will have to spend money on you again. Really, excuse me. Gongzili, haha. Asterisk. In the box on the other side. Xiao Mian was extravagant this time and booked a luxurious box. She and Zhang Luli were the only ones in the large box. As the most high-end entertainment club in Yunqing, the sound quality of the KTV here is simply amazing. Xiao Mian ordered a song that she often sang before. After singing just 2 lines, Zhang Luli clapped her hands and said excitedly, wow, baby, it sounds so good. Even better than the original song. At this moment, Zhang Luli, who was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, looked like a little fan, holding his chin in his hands and his eyes shining. Chiao Mian Mian was a little embarrassed by what she said. No, the original song is much better than what I sang. I'm serious, baby, it's really better than the original song. Zhang Luli was so mesmerized that he couldn't help but sigh, baby, your voice is so good, it would be a pity not to sing. With a voice like yours, you can definitely win first place in any singing competition. Of course, I mean without any shady circumstances. The first time Zhang Luli heard Chiao Mian Mian sing, he was astonished. How to describe it? She thinks Chiao Mian Mian's voice is not only beautiful, but also very clean and ethereal. It is one of those unique voices that is very recognizable, but once you hear it once, you can remember her singing. This is a unique advantage in the music world. There are many people who can sing well, but there are only a few who have good voice recognition. Just like actors, there are many good-looking people, but there are not many actors who are recognizable and appealing to the audience. Once someone satisfies the above conditions, he will definitely become popular. It's a pity that Chiao Mian Mian has a good voice, but she doesn't want to sing. But acting. Zhang Luli felt it was a pity. Chiao Mian Mian finished singing and put the microphone on the coffee table. Baby, have you really never thought about participating in a similar competition? In fact, even if you want to be an actor in the future, you can also participate in a competition or something like that first. After you have accumulated a certain degree of popularity, it would be good to become an actor. Zhang Luli really felt that it would be a pity not to sing when Chiao Mian Mian has such a beautiful voice. There is a feeling of using nature violently. Chiao Mian Mian shook his head, forget it, I'm not this material. I just want to act quietly. Zhang Luli. Singing so beautifully, you still say that you are not the right person. Are you deliberately trying to make someone like her who doesn't have much musical talent? If she had this voice condition, she could make herself beautiful. The accompaniment started playing. Zhang Luli picked up the microphone and was about to start singing when there was a knock on the door of the box was opened, and the waiter came in holding a large bouquet of red roses. Hello, ladies, I don't know who sang just now. When the waiter saw the two girls in the box, his eyes flashed with surprise. Zhang Luli and Chiao Mian Mian looked at each other for a few seconds. Chiao Mian Mian stood up and said, "It's me, what's the matter?" The waiter stepped forward, handed her the bouquet of red roses in his hand, and said with a smile, "Miss, a gentleman was so shocked when he heard your singing that he asked me to send you a bouquet of flowers to express his gratitude. Of appreciation." End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 465. Chapter 465. She is a very beautiful girl. Please accept this bouquet of flowers, miss. While the waiter was speaking, he raised his head and glanced at Chiao Mian Mian again, thinking that this young and beautiful girl was going to be lucky soon. Just with her voice, Yan Xiao already admired her so much. If Yan Xiao sees me again soon, I'm afraid he will definitely take it into his pocket. She looks so beautiful, what man wouldn't like her when he sees her? Just give it a little, it is an amount that ordinary people cannot earn in a lifetime. Chiao Mian Mian was stunned for a moment. Someone asked you to send me flowers? Yes, the waiter thought for a while and kindly reminded him, that gentleman is our distinguished guest here, and his status is extremely valuable. He is in a box opposite. I hope I can have the opportunity to chat with the good lady in person. Miss, if you are willing, I will take you there right now. Chiao Mian Mian. Did she encounter a so-called strike-up? Distinguished guest, who is this distinguished guest? Zhang Luli looked at the bouquet of fiery red roses, an idea flashed in his mind, and he jumped up, baby, could it be the male god? He is using this method sue for peace with you. Chiao Mian Mian was stunned. Mo yesi? No way, how did he know she was here? She didn't tell him. She looked at the waiter suspiciously, Do you know that gentleman's surname and name? The waiter smiled slightly, nodded and said, the young master of the Yan family, Yan Shaoqing, you must have heard of it? The waiter thought that after he said this name, the girl opposite would be shocked, then surprised and excited. After all, the name Yan Shaoqing is a symbol of power. No girl can resist this temptation. But the result was not quite what he imagined. The girl opposite was indeed surprised for a few seconds when she heard the name Yan Shaoqing, but then the look on her face was not one of surprise, but a very weird smile. Yan Shaoqing, are you sure? Yes, it is. Well, that's good. I'll accept the flowers. Please bring him a message for me. Asterisk. A few minutes later. The waiter came out of the box with a strange look on his face. He walked to box 888, stretched out his hand and knocked lightly on the door. Soon, someone inside responded, "Come in." The waiter opened the door and walked in. He saw Yan Shaoqing with his legs crossed and a glass of red wine in one hand. He walked over slowly and said respectfully, "Say less." As soon as the waiter came in, several people in the box looked at him. Gong Zili also held a glass of wine in his hand and sneered, "How about it, have you seen anyone? Is it an ugly person or a beautiful woman?" The waiter glanced at Gong Zili, lowered his head, and replied respectfully, "Master Gong, I have met someone. She is a very beautiful little girl. To be precise, it is very, very beautiful. Anyway, he has never seen such a beautiful girl in all his years of working in the club. She is more beautiful than many celebrities." Gong Zili's face stiffened and his brows furrowed. "Are you sure you look beautiful?" "It's really beautiful." The waiter recalled the sight just now and felt amazed. "She looks like a fairy, very beautiful." "Ha ha ha ha!" Yan Shaoqing laughed happily, clapped his hands while laughing, and said in a good mood, "I knew it, my intuition must be right. Fourth brother, if you lose, don't forget what you said." End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 466. Chapter 466. I met true love this time. The expression on Miyazawa's face is a bit stinky. He stood up suddenly and snorted coldly, "You have to see it with your own eyes to decide whether you are beautiful or not. What you were talking about was a fairy. If it is just an ordinary beauty, it doesn't count." "Okay, just watch." Yan Shaoqing also stood up and said with a smile, "Let you die clearly. But this is the woman your brother likes, you can't it from me." Shenro is also here. After Yan Shaoqing said this, Gong Zili immediately turned to look at Shenro. As if to express something, he immediately said, "I'm not interested in those unidentified women outside. Don't think that they are, everyone is as casual as you." Tisk, tisk, tisk. Yan Shaoqing noticed his behavior and joked, "If you're not interested in women outside, then which women are you interested in? The ones around you?" Ahem. Shenro, who had been silent all this time, covered her mouth and coughed lightly. After glaring at Yan Shaoqing, she slowly stood up. She pursed her lips and said with an elegant smile, "Shall I come with you? I also want to see what the girl you are talking about looks like." Shenro just heard that Yan Shaoqing and Gong Zili had been talking about that girl, and she felt a little uncomfortable. Among the four of them, she is the only girl. So no matter what time, she is the most favored one. Is also the one that gets the most attention. But now, the two men beside her kept discussing a strange woman and put her aside. This made her very angry. Especially when Yan Shaoqing shouted like a little fairy, as if the other person was really a fairy. She wanted to see how beautiful that woman was. Shenro is confident in her appearance. She didn't think the so-called little fairy would be in any good shape. She followed him there just to have a comparison. After a while, when Yan Shaoqing and the others saw the woman, they would find that it was nothing more than that. Yan Shaoqing didn't know that Shenrou had so many twists and turns in her heart. Seeing that she wanted to go, she nodded and said, "Okay, Rura will come with us. In case we all leave and you are bored by yourself. It's just right, I can let you get to know my new girlfriend." Shenrou was startled, then laughed, "New girlfriend? You haven't even met her yet, and you want someone to be your girlfriend?" Yan Shaoqing squinted his eyes, his long and narrow peach blossom eyes showing his expectation and desire for love. "I have a hunch that I will meet true love this time. If she looks like my ideal type, I will definitely accept her in the future. I no longer look at other women, I only focus on her." Shenrou. Gongzili. This guy has a lot of drama. Ahem, Seeing that a few people were about to walk out of the box, the waiter remembered something that Jiao Mian wanted him to convey, and immediately walked to Yan Shaoqing and said, "Young Master Yan, that lady wanted me to convey something. Words to you." "Oh," Yan Shaoqing stopped and touched his chin with his hand, looking quite interested. "What did my girlfriend tell you? Did she know that I was the one who sent her flowers? She was very happy and excited. She wanted to see me soon." "Waiter, no. No, what is that?" The lady said, "Yan Ziaosan, do you want to be beaten?" Several people were stunned at the same time. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 467. Chapter 467. Mian, is this your friend? Yan Shaoqing was confused. She called me Yan Ziaosan. Yes. Cold sweat broke out on Yan Shaoqing's forehead immediately. He almost jumped up as if he was frightened. Can't she be my sister? But, can his sister sing so well? How can his sister's voice be so sweet and soft? Why didn't he notice it before? Why did Yan Shaoqing guess her sister immediately? Because there are only a few people who call him Yan Mistress, excluding his grandma, his mother, Shenrou, and among the remaining young women, his sister is the only one. The waiter has never seen what the eldest daughter of the Yan family looks like, but he can guess that the girl just now cannot be the eldest daughter of the Yan family. The age, appearance, and temperament don't seem to be the same. Master Yan, that is a very young girl, probably not Miss Yan. Not my sister. Yan Shaoqing was even more confused. Who could it be? At this moment, even Gongzili and Shenrou became curious. Asterisk. The waiter led them outside the box. After knocking on the door, a girl's soft voice came from inside, "Come in." The door of the room is played, and there is also a song playing inside. That soft voice sounded a little unclear. However, Yan Shaoqing already had a vague premonition that was not good. He felt, this voice seemed a bit familiar. He had heard it somewhere. When the waiter pushed the door open, he was the first to walk into the box with full curiosity. The moment he saw Jiao Mian, his whole body froze. Little, sister-in-law. Gongzili and Shenrou, who followed in, were also stunned for a moment. A few seconds later, Shenrou looked at Jiao Mian with complex eyes, bit her lip, and squeezed out a sentence from between her lips, "So you are here." Thinking of what happened in the revolving restaurant, Shenrou's face turned colder. When Gongzili met Jiao Mian's dark, soft, and bright eyes, the weird feeling in his heart emerged again. "Oh, it's you." When Zhang Luli saw Shenrou, he stood up with a dark face and replied rudely, "This Yunchinj is really too small. If you go out to sing a song, you will meet annoying people. If I had known it, I wouldn't have come here." Because of the incident at the revolving restaurant, Zhang Luli naturally didn't have a good impression of Shenrou. In addition, After she learned about the relationship between Shen and Mo Yesi from Jiao Mian, she had no good impression of this kind of woman who wanted to take advantage of her best friend. It doesn't matter how long the male and this woman have known each other. I haven't married her baby yet. If you are really good friends, you should know how to avoid suspicion. No matter how good the relationship was before, if your good friend gets married and has a wife, you still have to avoid it to some extent. If you have any thoughts, you should let them go. Otherwise, keep it completely in your heart and don't show it. But that day in the revolving restaurant, she could clearly see that this woman named Shenro had other thoughts about her male god. She is definitely not a friend to the male god. The love rival of your best friend is your enemy. Shenro is a charming young lady who grew up in a pampered way. The Shen family comes from a prominent family, and she has been praised by others since she was a child. In addition, Yan Shaoqing and the other powerful disciples also took good care of her. It could be said that she had never been offended by others. She didn't dare to have anyone make her angry. Her eyes suddenly turned cold, she clenched her fists, took a deep breath, suppressed her anger and looked at Jiao Mian and said, Mian, is this your friend? I don't think I have offended her. She said this. It's not too much. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 468. Chapter 468, that look in his eyes is a little weird. Gong Zili and Yan Shaoqing are here. No matter how angry Shenro was, she would not vent her anger on the spot. Jiao Mian used to think about maintaining a superficial relationship with Shenro. Even if they can't become real friends, they can just be ordinary friends. After all, Shen and Mo Yesi have been friends for many years. She didn't want to make their friendship unharmonious because of herself. But now, she changed her mind. After Shenro bullied and humiliated her brother with words, she never thought about maintaining a superficial relationship. She looked at the three people who walked in, and then turned her gaze to Shenro. After looking at each other for a few seconds, she smiled and said, Miss Shen, we are not very close, so you should call me Miss Jiao. As for Luo, sorry, I don't think what Luo said just now is too much. Shenro was stunned for a moment, her face stiffened. You. Everyone has the right to like others and hate others. Miss Shen can't think Luo is too much just because she doesn't like you. After all, the only thing that can make everyone love you is RMB, don't you think? After hearing this, Shenro's face turned blue. A few seconds later, she turned her head helplessly and aggrievedly, biting the corner of her lip, and said with a hurt look, it seems I'm not welcome here, I'd better leave. In the past, if she said this, Gong Zili and Yan Shaoqing would definitely stop her and help her speak. But this time, after Shenro finished speaking, she saw that neither Yan Shaoqing nor Gong Zili had any intention of stopping her. There was no one to help her speak. When Yan Shaoqing heard that she was leaving, he even nodded and agreed, well, Rura, you go first. I have a few words to say to my sister-in-law, and I'll go see you later. Zili, are you going to accompany Rura? When Yan Shaoqing asked Gong Zili, he saw Gong Zili staring blankly at Jiao Mian. That look in his eyes is a little weird. Miyazawuli seemed not to hear what he was saying and did not respond to him. Yan Shaoqing was stunned for a few seconds, his heart thumped, and then he was frightened by an idea that came to his mind. No. The fourth guy stared at Xiao Zizi without blinking. The eyes are still so weird. This guy, couldn't he suddenly realize that his sister-in-law is very beautiful and fall in love with her? When this idea flashed through his mind, Yan Shaoqing was shocked. I felt that if he really guessed it, it would be too shocking. At that time, a world war may break out. Gong Zili's silence made Shenro notice something unusual. She turned her head and saw Gong Zili's eyes falling on Jiao Mian, looking very fascinated. He was so lost in thought that when Yan Shaoqing spoke to him, he didn't even respond. Shenrou's expression suddenly changed. She instantly felt a sense of crisis in her heart. Before Gong Zili, he had never seen Jiao Mian like this. Shenrou could see clearly that there was clearly no disgust in Gong Zili's eyes, which was completely different from his previous attitude when he saw Jiao Mian. She felt panicked for no reason. How so? Because of her, doesn't Gong Zili dislike Jiao Mian very much? So far, only Gong Zili is on the same side as her and is willing to help her and protect her. If even he, Zili in panic, she couldn't help but call Gong Zili. Gong Zili didn't seem to hear it and didn't react at all. His eyes were still staring straight at Jiao Mian. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 469. Chapter 469. Why do you smell so good? Shenrou's face turned ugly and she bit her lips. It felt like there was a fire burning in her heart, and emotions of anger and jealousy surged into her heart at the same time. She glared at Gong Zili angrily, then turned her head, glared at Yan Shaoqing fiercely, and said angrily, "Okay, you don't want to leave, right? Then I'll go by myself." After saying that, he ran out of the box angrily. "Rura, wait a minute." Yan Shaoqing looked at Shenrou who had run out of the box, and suddenly stepped forward and patted Gong Zili. "Fourth brother, why are you in such a daze?" Rura left in anger, "You hurry up and chase." Gong Zili's appearance really made Yan Shaoqing a little uneasy. This guy's whole person seems to be abnormal. Normally, as long as Shenrou is around, all his attention will be on Shenrou. Except for Shenrou, everyone else is completely transparent in his eyes. But just now, even Shenrou couldn't bring him back to his senses. No wonder Shenrou was so angry that she left directly. This guy must be really fascinated by the beauty of his sister-in-law. His shot finally brought Gong Zili back to his senses and took his eyes away from Jiao Mian. Ro is gone, Gong Zili realized later and found that Shenrou was gone. Yan Shaoqing. The corners of his lips twitched. "Didn't you hear what I just said to you? Rura was angry with you and you didn't go after her." Gong Zili was startled and asked in surprise, "Are you angry with me? Who else could it be if it weren't you? She was talking to you just now, but you ignored her. She left as soon as she got angry." As soon as Yan Shaoqing finished speaking, he saw Gong Zili turning around and striding out to chase Shenrou. Going to the door, Gong Zili paused. He turned his head and looked straight at Jiao Mian. A trace of hesitation flashed in his soft and narrow eyes. "Miss Jiao, can I ask you a question?" Jiao Mian looked at him in surprise after being named. No. Didn't she have any auditory hallucinations just now? Gong Zili actually called her Miss Jiao. And the tone is very polite. He had always called her by her first name before, and his tone was very harsh. Why did he seem to be a different person today? He didn't make a show of his face or speak evil words to her as soon as he saw her like before. Has the sun risen in the west? Since his attitude was quite good, Jiao Mian suppressed the doubts in her heart and nodded. "Okay, you say." Gong Zili looked at her and hesitated for a few seconds before speaking out. "Can you tell me what brand of perfume you use?" Jiao Mian. Yan Shaoqing. What on earth does this guy want to do? After Gong Zili finished asking, he said nothing and waited quietly for Jiao Mian to reply to him. Jiao Mian was stunned for a few seconds and then slowly came back to her senses. She thought that Gong Zili wanted to buy a gift for a certain woman, so she asked. After thinking about it, she replied seriously, "I don't wear perfume. I can't answer this question for you." You didn't wear perfume, then why do you smell so good? As soon as he said this, everyone was quiet for a few seconds. Yan Shaoqing's eyes widened even more, and he walked up to him in 3 steps and 2 steps, holding his arm and lowering his voice. Fourth, what's the matter with you? Chiao Mian is our sister-in-law, what were you talking about just now? It is a bit ambiguous in a sense for a man to say such words to a woman. It is even more inappropriate to say such words to a woman who already has a husband or boyfriend. End of this chapter. I secretly got married to a super boss. Author, Dance Lightly. Chapter 470. Chapter 470. Which song is the 4th child singing? Gong Zili didn't seem to know this. He pushed Yan Shaoqing away, raised his head, his eyes fell on Chiao Mianmian's face again, and asked stubbornly, "You really don't use perfume? Then what's the fragrance on your body, how come?" He desperately wanted to know the answer. Chiao Mianmian's face looked a little unhappy and she frowned, "I've already answered you. Then why do you smell so good?" "Yan Shaoqing, 4th brother, are you crazy? What are you doing? Gong Zili is very stubborn, you just need to answer me why you have fragrance on your body. If it's not the smell of perfume, what is it?" Chiao Mian was angered by him. When she spoke again, her tone became colder. "Mr. Gong, you are so rude." "I know, but I really want to know the answer. Your answer is very important to me. Miss Chiao, even if I am asking you to do a favor, can you please tell me the answer?" The man's tone was very polite, so polite that Chiao Mian felt that the person in front of her was not Gong Zili. There was a trace of confusion in those soft and narrow eyes, as if they were confused by something. Chiao Mian looked at his handsome face and felt that he wasn't that annoying anymore. I have to say that under normal circumstances, Gong Zili is still very eye-catching. She finally realized now that this matter might really be important to Gong Zili. Otherwise, when he hated himself so much, he would not have this attitude towards her. She can't say she dislikes Gong Zili, but she doesn't have a good impression of him either. Seeing that he was so polite, she still acted like a good person. "Maybe it's the smell of my shampoo." Mo Yesi also said that she smelled delicious and asked her what perfume she used. But she couldn't smell it herself. Thinking about it for a while, there was only the residual fragrance of the shampoo she had used. "Shampoo," Gong Zili blinked, "what brand of shampoo?" "Chiao Mian. Is this shampoo you are talking about still in production?" Gong Zili left with a sullen face after asking a bunch of strange questions. Yan Shaoqing stood at the door, looking at his figure gradually walking away, still confused. When the others were far away, he finally couldn't help but burst out, "Damn it, what kind of song is this?" He didn't even know, and Chiao Mian was even less clear. "Sister-in-law, there aren't any secrets between you and the 4th child that I don't know about, right?" Yan Shaoqing walked back to the box, full of questions, and looked at Chiao Mian suspiciously. "Chiao Mian, do you think he and I will have secrets?" "Yan Shaoqing, it doesn't look like that. Master Yan, we won't talk about Mr. Gong's affairs for now. Why don't we talk about another interesting thing?" Chiao Mian bent down and picked up a bouquet of red roses on the table, curved her lips and smiled, with a sweet smile. Another relative asked, "For example, this bouquet of roses?" The expression on Yan Shaoqing's face suddenly froze. The moment he pushed open the box and saw Chiao Mian sitting inside, he knew what was going on. At that time, I was extremely upset. I also regret it terribly. Heck, he thought he had met the one he was destined to be, but he didn't expect. With the thought that his life was at stake, he immediately said with a shy smile, "Misunderstanding, sister-in-law, it is definitely a misunderstanding. My flower is." End of this chapter.